say something. I'm Paul's cousin, and it's amazing to meet all of you because you are very different groups of people. And although I knew Paul since I was a young girl, I didn't know this part of him. I knew Rick and my daughter and I, came here several times, but I didn't know him, that part of him. And it's lovely to have you share some of that and to know more about him because it's a loss. I'm really sad that he's gone, but I'm very glad that he lived a really wonderful full life. And so thank you all for that.
Thank you, President.
Does anybody wanna go around and just say how they met Paul?
I only know from his teacher, because I know as a teacher.
Paul always said,
Tell us, yeah.
Paul always said the things that nobody else dared say.
He lied on whenever we had a PD.
Whenever we had a faculty meeting, there were sofas in the library.
I'm so tired.
He would lounge on the sofas in the library. And then he would
You
tell,
all think about it, I'm sorry.
oh yeah, he does. He would tell pregnant mothers that they should get their tubes tied.
You agree with me, don't you?
Yeah.
Look at what you have here in front of you. You
How
should
did he
stop.
not get fired?
Because
Because it was also about him building relationships. Like
Yes, Paul.
he loved those kids and he knew those families so well. And he could say stuff that nobody else could say because he knew them and he
had
get
a
away
pass.
with it.
Yeah.
They
and
loved
he
him.
loved them.
I was in an IEP meeting with him once, and the mom is telling the story, but like it's been really difficult because she's got these kids that have these needs, and she also just recently had a miscarriage. And he says, "Oh, thank God." And the rest of us froze. The rest of us just froze, eyes wide, like, "Oh my God, what did he just say?" And the mom turns to him and goes, "I know, right?"
Do you know the daddy?
I was his IEP translator in Spanish. So some of the jokes I would be like, oh my, I'm gonna tell this parent. Yeah, she's like kind of like, cleaning up the edges. And I'm like, remember what I said? It's fine. I would clean it up for Paul, but Paul always said that. You should tell your tubes. All the time. So I work with Paul and you with Carmen as well. And I was the special ed translator in most of his meetings. He always requested me, I think because he could get away with it. And so a lot of his meetings did consist of him telling people the truth. But
Yeah.
people loved him for telling the truth. Even the kids would have lunch with him because they loved that ability to be themselves and be true to themselves as he could with them as well. So those are my fondest memories with Paul. All the time working in the front office and Paul coming in, it's like, why are these kids sitting in the front office? Tell me the gossip kind of thing.
He loved us.
Are these kids? What are these kids up to today? Like, why are they there? Like, and I'm so over this kind of thing. And he used to vent a lot with me, Carmen, and the same with him. I felt always I could be free and speak to Paul. However, I desire because he was such a true person, and parents appreciated that. And the parents that said, Mr. Brown, Mr. Cafe, right? In Spanish. Doesn't translate the same way. Mr. Brown is Mr. Brown. Not Mr. Cafe. He's like, are they calling me like coffee? I'm like, so my fondest memories is that he always went above and beyond to help kids, and that included a little fix of candy here and there.
Oh gosh.
And he invested so much time, as Carmen still does, because she still works in the school system. I don't anymore, but he my fondest memories is, like I said, he's very welcoming. I didn't know Paul until he got to New LA, but in that short amount of time, I felt like I knew him for years. Because he would share every aspect of his life. Kind of this or done that, you know. What are you gonna do? His expressions, he's very expressive. He was very expressive, and he's like, you just have to do what you need to do, you know. And he lived his life, I think, like that. And I'm hearing the stories that they sound very similar, but in different locations, different times. And so I'm glad to hear and share with you those memories as well. My name is Doris, by the way.
Thank you, Doris.
Beautiful, Doris.
I'll add on to that just because I'm.
I'm sorry I cut you guys off.
It's cool.
And when I told them I went to Milligan Middle School,
Yeah.
in like 1992, and he was like, "Ooh, that was a long time ago." And I said, "Yeah, it was." But he also told me about your time sharing those moments with you guys, and I said, "Well, I guess we get to have you now, right?"
No, I was just gonna say, like adding on to what Doris said, obviously special ed, we have a lot of characters and it, you know, mostly the families are, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So a lot of times, like, you're like, oh, when you meet the parent, you're like, that's There was a mom, Ashley, who just like could not connect with anybody in the office. Like she was actually banned from the office. And so one day I was on the phone with her and she's like, well, I don't talk to you, Miss O'Connor. And I was like, okay, well, could we just like, could you talk to me for a minute? Like, I don't know, like, why are you, what? You don't talk to me? And then, but he had such a rapport with her. And so she's like, I can't describe her. Can you describe her for a second?
She was a parent that you didn't want to open the door because you saw facial expression from the outside. Like, oh my gosh, my life is gonna change if I open the door.
We know those. We know those too well.
You may hear the doors in back of me because I was in the front office closing their office. It's like a domino effect. They're boom, 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 boom. But she had a report with me, so I felt like comfortable enough, but I knew that other people
And she
didn't.
come in with her heart glasses. Anyway, so I just remember Paul saying, like one time he had to have a conversation about her daughter who was blind, like almost blind, but like trying to do general ed and had a lot going on. And he goes, well, she's just being a little bitch. Well, she's just being a little bitch. Like that was his diagnosis. Yeah,
It's a little bit.
I mean, yeah. And technically, yes, like actually.
Yeah.
But he just, would talk to a parent like that. So I have a lot of stories. My favorite is also the girl with autistic characteristics she's amazing. Her family, her dad was Orthodox Jewish, and I believe mom had been, but they got divorced, and then mom, remember she used to come in those little tiny dresses? So anyway, she wasn't Orthodox anymore. Yeah, she wasn't Orthodox anymore. And I'm sure some of you heard this story about when she got her period.
No.
Okay, so anyway. Called up that day, and she had stayed at her dad's and got her period, and so then he had showed her a YouTube video on how she was supposed to deal with it throughout the day, and she ended up coming out of the bathroom with her hand, and Paul just like handled the whole situation, like that day, and then the other day. Was that a trigger? No. So there was another day when she fell in love, and she had this huge crush on this boy, and she could not filter or regulate her feelings at all. And she was in the room, thank God, with Paul. She came to him, and they sat in the room for an hour or 2 hours, like people walking in and out and stuff like that. But she was laughing hysterically and overjoyed and just ecstatic, and then all of a sudden she'd just break down crying and just be like, I can't believe it, I hate him, because she hated that he was giving her those feelings, like the kid she had a crush on. But I think that was like, for Paul, that was a beautiful moment for him. So anyway, I was his work wife at New LA. He used to pick me up in the morning. And of course, it didn't look so good on my professional status, but oh, she's a fall. So I just mean they hired him to teach math.
I know. Oh, I know.
He was so not happy
He
about that.
was not a math person.
He
I
was
think
so
it was
involved.
not. It was not that he wasn't as professional as he could be, but it was
You just
math. So, anyways, I got
Agree.
it.
He was so in